It's a rough patch. There's nothing. Let those sellouts do something. Let them solve something. Now imagine mayors from the Northeast. You saw that Ignacio won't get anything. He won't get squat. And unlike these characters, my friends, we can't get overconfident. Work hard so we can achieve our goals. Several mayors in the Northeast. Bye, thank you. Abandoning Lula. Declaring support for Flávio. People who supported Ignacio. They've already seen that things have gone south. And that's driving them crazy. They can't react. I'll show you everything here. Smash the like button. Come be part of our family. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. There are many other news stories too. Guys, the PT being PT, here it is. Take a look. The habeas corpus filed by PT supporters could grant house arrest to several criminals, such as... Just so you have an idea, I have to talk like this because of social media. The habeas corpus that Alexandre de Moraes granted to President Bolsonaro. Regarding humanitarian detention, that he is trying everything to commit yet another atrocity against President Bolsonaro. PT supporters are using this fact. Look at that. This comes from people who say they defend women. To release thousands more criminals onto the streets in direct response to the granting of house arrest to Bolsonaro. 4 federal lawmakers from the PT filed a collective habeas corpus at the Supreme Federal Court. So that all detainees in the country in pretrial detention, right, are released because of this decision. Look at this, folks. It's so absurd when we see what these guys are fighting for. What these guys are advocating for. Look, it's not easy, huh? Look at the bunch of people who won't go. Look at what they're trying to use. Using President Bolsonaro's situation, these guys want to release millions of criminals guilty of the most heinous crimes there are. It's an atrocity. And we know that this puppet here has nothing to offer. Guys, you'd have to be really clueless. It's not a matter of being right-wing or left-wing or anything like that, no. To have the nerve to believe again when they say they're going to end hunger. That he's going to fight a war to save people. How many years has it been? Seriously, who still has the nerve to fall for these little speeches, right?
I'm going to wage a war to fight hunger in my country. And the war against hunger, I'm going to win. My war is to make sure that everyone has the right to eat lunch, dinner, have breakfast, to study, to have a home, to go out, to have access to culture. Everyone has the right to eat well. And let me tell you something new. When I came back in 2020,
he talked again about the 33 million people who are hungry. Do you see the price of meat here? Here, 54 reais for a day's work. 64 reais for a kilo of meat. Brazilians work and still can't eat with dignity. The cut isn't even picana. It's not even picanha. A Brazilian earning minimum wage works all day just to afford a kilo of meat. We're working just to afford 1 kilo of meat a day for the whole family. 66 reais for a kilo of sirloin. If the sirloin... People often don't buy picanha because it's too expensive, but they also don't want another cut of meat. I like brisket. Red meat, honestly, the one I like the most is brisket. On a grill brisket, there's no picanha here. I even got tired of picanha. Honestly, I like pork. Even though I'm a Palmeiras fan. Pork, chicken. I've already said it here. Red meat, brisket, well roasted. On the grill, there's nothing better. Or else, those butcher scraps. Those leftover cuts from the butcher shop. They put that green seasoning on them. Oh man, for skewers. For me, there's no better meat. But the sirloin. Paying 66 reais for sirloin is absurd. It's absurd. What a simple meal has turned into in our country. And that scoundrel Vagabundo, extremely lazy, saying he's going to get people out, I'm going to get them out. There are over 33 million Brazilians going hungry. He showed up out of nowhere, and now I have this fight to get those 33 million Brazilians out. It's endless scoundrel behavior. Endless. And given that, what happens? Brazilians are outraged. Look at this. What people are saying on the streets. These videos are really good. Videos to show that Lula won't fool anyone anymore. A rideshare driver declares his vote for Flávio Bolsonaro and explains why. Showing knowledge of everything that has been happening. They don't fool the people anymore. The real information is reaching them. That's why they want to regulate social media. Congratulations to this Brazilian. There's no way, my friends. Look.
2026 elections, Lula or Flávio Bolsonaro?
Flávio Bolsonaro.
Flávio, and why?
Because with Lula, corruption has returned. The deception has returned. And we have to change this country by removing the PT from power.
Now, a lot of people, right? We know the country is polarized. People say not Flávio Bolsonaro because he's going to repeat what his father did to you. And would you already feel at ease if he repeated it?
Absolutely. I would have more hope for our country because with the PT, it's been over 20 years and Brazil just keeps going downhill. And thank God many people are waking up to this. And this year, the election is going to be different.
Do you think Flávio has a better chance now of beating Lula?
He does. Because all these scandals trying to blame the right, trying to blame Bolsonaro, that didn't stick. Because it's being proven every day that the left is involved. This master scandal started back in Bahia. So people are waking up and seeing what's happening to our country. Nothing is getting better. Things are getting worse here.
You can see that no matter how hard they tried, they would never be able to do it. They tried to pin the scandal on Bolsonaro. That's the truth. There's nothing better than people saying what's really happening. The people for the people. It's always been like this, my friends. Now, what I found curious is that, look, a mayor from the Northeast, for example, this one from Capim Grosso in Bahia, declaring support for Flávio. Abandoning the former mayor of Oust, Lula, to support Flávio. Take a look.
Hello everyone, I'm Itamar Rios, former mayor of Capim Grosso, Bahia. I'm a lawyer and a doctor. In the last election, I supported Lula. However, this year, I'm supporting Flávio. Why am I supporting Flávio? Lula's speech is outdated. Lula only talks about poverty. Lula only talks about misery. Lula only talks about a little piece of meat, a little piece of picana, and Brazilians want much more than that. Brazilians want good security. They want quality health care. Brazilians want prosperity. Young people are intentional. Lula is good. Jim, that's cool. You need to have your own means of transportation, a good motorcycle, a good car. Anyway, we dream of prosperity. We need prosperity. Lula only talks about misery. That's why I'm choosing Flávio. I'm with Flávio. Come with me. Let's go with Flávio.
And that's the fact. There's no speech more perverse than seeing a people who work as hard as Brazilians do. And for Lula, and for all those nefarious people, the only thing Brazilians deserve is a little plate of meat. A little plate of farofa, just a bit of farofa, just some meat. Nothing more than that. In other words, you work your tail off just to have the bare minimum. And the worst part is, he's saying it here, openly, for everyone to see. Which is the least he can deliver. And he doesn't deliver. It's like, I'm going to give meat to the people. I'm going to make people eat. Have lunch, dinner, breakfast, coffee, afternoon coffee, that same old nonsense as always. Many times, Brazilians work 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs. Because you spend half, nowadays, we used to say that Brazilians would spend 5 months paying taxes. The taxes, the rest was theirs. After Lula came back to the crime scene, I say it's not even 6 months paying taxes. And the 6 months you work aren't even yours. Today, it's probably around 8 months paying taxes, and the rest is yours. working so many jobs to support people who never worked. It's infuriating. An eternal honeymoon, extremely expensive hotels, the most expensive in the world, the highest daily rates, not just for him, for Yanja, but for all that crowd. In other words, you work your tail off, but it's not so you can have a better home. You work for this. When things start getting better, you'll want to live in a better place, right? Do you want to trade your car for a better one? We often have to stop with this mindset that many people have because of these nefarious politicians who are around. No, we're not going to just set up a lunch for you. We work to prosper and get better every day. But for this group of nefarious people, we're supposed to settle for the bare minimum and be thankful to God for it. And those who never worked, Lula never worked, I always say this here, have everything thanks to the sweat of your labor. Thanks to the sweat of your labor. This kind of thing doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's always, let's fix something up, and so on. People, the bare minimum, the bare minimum. Look at this here. Gastapovo beneficiaries complain about fees in cities without registered resellers. He changed what Bolsonaro did. He and Janja, they were there. Look at the gas, because before people would get it, it would go straight into their account. People would go to the store on the corner, get the gas cylinder, and go home. Nice, just great, beautiful. Now, people often have to go around and around and around, only at authorized sales points. Not every place delivers this gas cylinder, and people end up giving up because it doesn't make sense. Before the change, look there. The benefit was paid to families in cash through the gas aid program. Every two months, the person would get a gas cylinder. Today, it's 2 per year. There's one at the beginning of January when this new model started. That's when Lula put it in place to really squeeze the people. And the other one, after 6 months, almost during the election period. So people remember, look, when they get the gas and it has this government sticker here, look, People's Gas, federal government, of course it is. It's political pandering, right? Political games? So look at how absurd this is. People are just stuck like this, just receiving benefits. They'll never get out of it, never get out. Lula wants all of Brazil to live this way. He dislikes the middle class and people in general, clearly only wanting to take their money. No contact at all because it doesn't get him votes, man. It's outrageous. But congratulations to the mayors, politicians from the Northeast who woke up, people who voted and supported Lula in the last election. Without sounding cocky, with hard work, we'll win this. Share this video on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, like it, and subscribe to join our family. I'll return soon with more news on the Paisafilos channel, Fabiano Guiguet.